Fam, what's going on? It's Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Today is Wednesday, August 21st. I appreciate you being here. Could you please take a minute and hit the thumbs up? Give me a roll tide inside the comment box. Today, we're talking about Kadyn Proctor. He said he messed up. We'll dive into that. Which Alabama wide receiver will catch for the most yards? I want to get some fan interaction on that. You have a healthy running back room. Jalen Milroe, really the only guy still in a black jersey, but I think he's going to be fine for game day. Prentice, we'll do a spotlight on him. Talk about Prentice in terms of what type of wide receiver Alabama has in him. Nick Sheridan, really, he has a dream setup. My goodness. And you also will get the Prentice interview and the Nick Sheridan interview right here on Bama Football on YouTube. You're watching Bama Football on YouTube in the evening. Remember, 9 a.m. Central Time every single day, Monday through Friday, right here on Bama Football on YouTube for my live show. And, of course, I'm inside the comment box, so say what's up to me. Look, Kadyn Proctor said today he messed up, and that means he transferred out to Iowa. Look, I mean, raise your hand if you're 20. I don't even know if he's 20 years old, making solid decisions at that point in time. Look, it's not a big deal. What I love about Kadyn Proctor as a person is that he's like taking accountability for it. And I think it's a great life lesson because I don't think he messed up. If anything, he learned a valuable lesson in life that the grass isn't always greener. How many times have we done that in our life, right? Something else seems better, whatever the case is, and then it's not. Stay the course, come back, and he had to work for his starting spot at Alabama at that left tackle position because remember when he got here, he was behind Elijah Pritchett. He had to earn that spot back. Probably spoke with the leadership council at Alabama, and now he is left tackle for Alabama, just 10 days away from Alabama's first game against Western Kentucky. Now, which Bama wide receiver do you think will have the most yards this year? I want to ask you inside the comment box right now, so please sound off when I get to this graphic right here. So for Ryan Williams, if you think that he's going to catch for the most yards, type A. For Jeremy Bernard, type B. For Cole Adams, type C. For Kendrick Law, type D. For Prentice, type E. And for Emmanuel Henderson, type F. Okay, so I think when I look to this wide receiver room, I'm curious to see how this wide receiver room, how Jalen Milroe gets these guys the football. Because there's so many weapons on this team. And when you kind of look to which guy could potentially have, let's say, 1,000-yard type year, who do you think it's going to be? I'm glad today that we're talking about Prentice. He's a guy that I would like to spotlight, to be honest. Now, when you rewind last year to what he did, first game of the season, 3 receptions for 20 yards. Second game, he had 5 receptions for 68 yards against Texas. And then we didn't see him catch a ball up until October when he caught just a pass for 5 yards against Texas A&M. Had a really good game against Arkansas, 2 receptions for 93 yards and a touchdown. And I think that he's a player that has big-time capability, don't you? Sound off if you think about Prentice. I want to get your take on someone who's an in-state prospect who I think has a lot of upside. Caught for 93 yards against Arkansas, a touchdown, and then caught for just 2 receptions in the back end of the season, one against Georgia for 19 yards and one against Michigan there at the back end. And if you rewind 2 seasons ago, he had a better year, right? 31 receptions, 337 yards receiving for Prentice. So he's a guy that I really like, ultra talented. He said today, and you're going to watch his interview coming up in just a minute, he's not a very vocal person, but kind of lead by example. In total, Prentice has played in 23 games at the University of Alabama, catching 36 balls for 583 yards with 4 touchdowns. So sound off inside the comment box. Which wide receivers, you can pick 2. Go ahead, pick 2. Which wide receivers do you think are going to catch for the most yards at Alabama? A, B, C, D, E, F. I think if I had to choose right now, I might go with the guys on the outside. Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard. I do think I could see Jeremy Bernard and Prentice. Those guys catching a lot of yards. And of course, we talked about Kendrick Law so many times. Right, so I want to hear from you inside the comment box. Go ahead and put your pick in right now, A, B, C, D, or F. I want to hear from you inside the comment box. Also, let's look at that running back room. I mentioned that they're healthy. Jalen Milroe looks to be the only guy still not up to 100%, but look, these guys are going to be ready to absolutely roll against Western Kentucky. Let me ask you this, okay? I didn't put up like A or B. Who do you think rushes for more yards? All right, next week, when we get into game week, I'm going to ask you all these hard-hitting questions, okay? Jam or Justice? Who rushes for more yards? I think that's going to be a hell of a debate. Okay. Nick Sheridan, you're going to hear his interview coming up next right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Yo, could you take a pause and please hit thumbs up? I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay. Nick Sheridan has a dream set up, honestly. You step into this role, you have Jalen Milroe at quarterback, Justice and Jam. Look at all those wide receivers we just talked about. Look at that wide receiver, the tight end room. C.J. Dupree, Robbie Oots, Danny Lewis, right? Josh Cuevas, Jay Lindsey, right? Absolutely loaded. Your offensive lineman, you get Kadyn Proctor back. You return Tyler Booker. You get Parker Brailsford, Jaden Roberts, Wilcom Formby. It's the dream setup. I mean, no other offensive coordinator in the history probably of college football has been dealt a better opening hand than Nick Sheridan. Now, that comes with a lot of pressure, too. But, I mean, I like my chances with Jalen Milroe at quarterback against anybody in the entire country. There is zero reason that this team should not be scoring less than 40 points a game for the rest of the season, right? 42 points is like that's where you need to be. And this is a year I feel you drop the hammer because there's so many people out there that think that Alabama football is done. Yo, Nick Sheridan, let it go, man. Today they're asking him, what type of packages will we see screens? Will we see, whatever? Doesn't matter, man. Just drop the hammer, Nick. Like, drop it, man. Let them know. Let them know right away that this Alabama offense isn't dropping off and that your quarterback, he's the most dangerous player in all of college football. Show him. All right. Coming up next right here on Bama Football on YouTube, you got Nick Sheridan in his interview today after practice along with Kobe Prentice. Nick Sheridan hits on kind of that second scrimmage, talks about the physicality, mentions why they're in different uniforms. I think that's an obvious. Talks about Jalen Milroe's growth as a quarterback. Talks about Tyler Booker and the weight loss. Remember, he lost 25 pounds. Talks about Robbie Oots, a very talented tight end. Talked about Milroe's running ability. Progress of fall camp, the message to the team with school starting today. Talks about Ryan Williams there at the 8-minute mark. Talks about some screenplays. Kobe Prentice hits on the scrimmage. Talks about being a veteran. Talks about his favorite guest speaker. Talks about who's the fastest wide receiver. Kobe said it's him. Talked about classes, talked about Courtney Morgan, hit on Ryan Williams, and talks about another freshman, Enrico Scott. Please enjoy those interviews. Those are courtesy of the University of Alabama. My name's Kyle Henderson. Please, 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 please hit the thumbs up. I appreciate you guys. Think about becoming a fan funder. I'll drop it in the link inside the comment box. And here we go with interview right here from Nick Sheridan. And following this, you'll get Kobe Prentice. This is back-to-back. It's about 13 minutes. It'll start right now.
You guys ready to go? You guys know your schedule and you guys know where you're going? Go ahead, fire away, guys.
This is what you see from that first scrimmage.
Second scrimmage? I thought there was, some inconsistencies. I thought there was some great plays. I thought there was a lot of, guys just trying to play each and every snap as hard as they could, despite what, maybe had happened previously. We overcame a couple tough situations. Some, the defense did a great job. And so I was proud of some of the 1-0 mindset that I thought our guys displayed in some challenging situations where we were able to overcome them. And yet I still think there's a lot of room for growth to clean up some of, the errors, and certainly give the defense a lot of credit for causing issues. Both, personnel-wise, there's a lot of really good players on defense, and certainly schematically with Kane and his staff. And so there's lots to build on, lots to correct. I thought it was competitive, as all the scrimmages have been since I've been here. And, probably each side of the ball wishes certain things, you did a little bit better. But I think collectively as a team, it's been very competitive. I thought it was a very physical scrimmage. I thought the guys hit. And so, it's been a good couple weeks of camp and, building towards the first game.
You know what, physical scrimmage. What's your philosophy when the physicality bleeds over into maybe active play?
Well, we would prefer that to not happen. We want to protect the team, and we want to make sure that we have the discipline to do what's best for our team. And when you start to talk about, things that occur after the snap, those oftentimes can hurt your team. And so, we're we coach against that for sure. There's an edge that you want to play with. There's a line that you want to be right up against, but we certainly know we want to protect the team and do what's best for the team.
Sounds kind of trivial, but we've never really seen you guys practice on offense with wearing crimson. Just what's the thought process behind that, and how much does it kind of, I guess, probably for the quarterback?
Just philosophically, you'd like for the quarterbacks to be able to see the jersey color that they're going to throw to in the game. And so that's all. And so when we're home, we practice with our home colors, and when we're on the road, we'll practice in our away colors.
Obviously, coach, deep receiver room, but Jared Hamilton, what's his development? How's he growing?
He's a very talented athlete. I think we're looking for consistency, and he's a young player. His attitude's been good, but that's what I would say, and that's true for a lot of young players. Is just to develop the consistency to be able to do your job at a high level. Like I say, he's very talented. He's big and he's fast, and he's working to be a consistent player.
Hey, Coach, how have you seen Jalen Milroe grow as a captain, leader of this football team with, the captains were just announced yesterday? Can you just elaborate on that?
I think he's just I can't speak to how he was previously. We've only been here for as long as we have. So I just continue to see him just be more and more comfortable in who he is and being genuine and authentic to who he is. And I think his teammates respect that. They know how hard he works. He's as hard of a working player that I've ever been around. I mean, he's a completely committed and devoted student athlete in all areas. And so I think his teammates respect that. And I think he's becoming more and more comfortable, even in our time here, of using his voice to encourage, to confront, to demand, because he's certainly putting in the time and the work. And so I think he's done a real nice job of that, and we're going to need that, as we continue, both him and Tyler being, leaders on that side on our side of the ball, them doing a good job leading that group. They've done awesome to this point.
Speaking of Booker, he dropped a pretty good bit of weight over the summer. When you think back to the spring versus now, what kind of difference do you think that weight loss has made?
Probably just his ability to strain and finish and play as hard as possible for longer durations of time. He's always been somebody that played really hard. I mean, he pours it out there every single day. But it has, I have seen that in his play even to another level. I thought he was great in the spring. I think he's taken it to even another level with how hard he plays.
What kind of role do you see Robbie playing consultant just with his size?
Well, I think Robbie's a very versatile player. Obviously he's uniquely size-wise. He's unique that way. But he's got soft hands. He's got good change of direction. He's got good body control and balance. And so there's a lot of different roles that Robbie can help us with, both inline, detached, you name it. I think Robbie's a really good football player. He's very tough. He provides the right amount of edge and toughness for us. And he's a great kid. And so, we're looking for big things out of Robbie.
With Jalen, it seems like there were times last year where he almost wanted to prove himself as a passer, and the run was there. Maybe he didn't take it. Is that something you guys have coached with him and kind of recognizing like it's okay to use your legs when that opportunity's there?
I think you'd have to ask him if when those decisions happened, if what he was thinking. I know for us, we're just emphasizing the execution of the play, and I think the quarterback's job is to ultimately whatever the best outcome can occur for that play. When you factor in the offensive call, the defensive call, the things that occur post snap, we just we encourage him to make the best of it. And there's lots of complexity in the position, but at the end of the day, you get 4 downs to get 10 yards, and you get another set. And if you cross the goal line, you get 6 points. And so it's like however you go about doing that. I think great quarterbacks across the country at all levels, they're all unique to their own skill set and their own style of play. And ultimately, you get judged on the things that I just talked about, getting first downs and scoring points and winning football games. And so that's really what we're focusing on with all the quarterbacks, not just Jalen, is just do your job, make the best of the situation. Sometimes the best thing that you can do is throw the ball away. There's nothing there. The defense had a good call, or maybe we didn't execute something properly. And so managing good and bad plays and trying to just give us consistent and repeated results, that's what we're looking for.
Without talking about expectations, which probably weren't any set, would you say that this is, in hindsight now, looking back, that good progress was made, but acceptable progress?
Well, I don't think, as a coach, you don't ever feel like you've arrived or there's not things that you can work on. I think the mindset has been good. I think the effort and intensity has been good. And yet I still think that there's still a little bit more out there for us. And, the hope is that we continue to improve as the year goes on. I talked to the players that we want our best snap to be our very last snap. That's the mindset, that you continue to improve, not just in training camp, but throughout the season. You want to make improvements individually, collectively, within your scheme, you name it. We're trying to continue to get better. That never ends. And so, we're as a coach, you are where you are, and then you're just continuing to work and improve off of that. And so there's been lots of great play, both individually and collectively, and yet there's still things that we can continue to work on and get better at.
We joked about practice, about class getting started today, but what was your message and the coaching staff's message to the team when class getting started today?
Be on time, know where you're going, and handle your business. Obviously, when you're a student athlete, the education that you receive is super important. We all know that. As you get a little bit older, you get a little bit wiser, you understand the importance of that. And so that's really the message: is go get an education, learn, grow, meet new people, create networks, all the amazing things that a place like the University of Alabama can provide. We want our players to maximize that opportunity, and certainly the exposure that they get in the classroom, not just with faculty and staff, but amongst the student body. I mean, there's a ton of just really impressive people on our campus, and so go enjoy that experience and be on time and sit in the front.
How much progress have you seen from Ryan Williams this camp? And just how do you get your readiness at this point?
Yeah, I mean, Ryan certainly made a lot of progress. And you don't really, it's the first time we're able to work with him and practice with him. And so we've been pleased with how far he's come, and yet he's improving every day. And his mindset as a young player has been great. His willingness to be coached, his, wanting to learn and grow. I think for a young player, his maturity has been very good, and he continues to get better and better. And so we're looking for that to continue. Consistency. I think he's done a nice job that way. I think, he's still young. I think sometimes you forget that, that he's still a young, growing, and developing player. But I think his mindset, his demeanor, he's the same every day. And so you appreciate that as a coach, that you know what you're getting.
Coach, how has the screen package been looking?
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we've got different packages of plays, so. Is that a request? Are you wanting to see some screens, or?
Didn't see a lot of it last year.
Okay. We'll see.
All right.
Any other packages that you guys want to ask me about? Pistol. Okay. We taking notes here? Anything else? Wishbone. Okay. All of it. Yep. All of it. Okay. Got it. It's been good for you? All right. Thanks, guys. All good.
It was very physical, as the coaches said, and I think we look very good as a team. Offense looking explosive, defense looking physical, and executing their assignments. So I feel like we look good as a team.
As being like the older guy in the room, how have you taken your game to the next level in camp and showing these young guys like how it's done now?
Well, I'm not really a vocal guy when it comes to leading. I like to lead by example. So when it comes to, just executing everything coach sends at me, as well as making sure the guys are executing the things that coach sends them to do. So I think the guys, they've done a phenomenal job, the young guys as well as the older guys, as far as being locked in on their assignments and executing their job.
Obviously, fall camp, one of the big themes are the speakers that come in. What have your thoughts been on the speakers that have come in this year? Who's been your favorite?
My favorite got to be the Magic guy. I forgot his name, but he was doing some crazy stuff. He had some crazy tricks, but I think it's very cool. We had Chris Paul, we had J.J. Watt. We had a lot of good talent come in, and I think it was very inspirational, just to be able to be around those guys.
Here's one of the younger guys in your room, obviously Ryan Williams got a bunch of attention. We've heard a bunch about his maturity. What have you kind of noticed from him just getting his feet wet so far, and how he's kind of responded to some of the hype and stuff like that?
I kind of knew Brian was going to be able to adapt very quickly, because I was his host on a couple of his recruits, coming in, and just how mature he was, even on the visits. It's really been a smooth process for him. He's been out there making plays, and he's got a bright future.
What was kind of your message to him, when you were hosting him then? Obviously, a bunch has changed now with the new staff. What were you kind of telling him to get him ready, even when he's still recruiting, something like that?
Well, like I said, he was already mature, so just really told him to be himself. Just don't change. Just be yourself, and you'll be all right.
Coach Shepard said he had a room full of cheetahs. Who's the fastest cheetah?
You know I'm going with me. But shoot, we got a lot of fast guys. I mean, I don't really want to put names out there, but I mean, everybody, you can really pretty much put all of us out there, and we really going to slide for real. So.
Classes start today. What was the message from the coaching staff, and how does that change you guys, the schedule for you?
Get to class on time. Coach Shep told us he's going to be popping up at class to make sure we're there. And if the teachers don't know our name, then we're in trouble. So sit at the front and, just make sure you're not just in class, but engaged and learning something. Coach Shep, he could do anything he want to do. Shep, funny.
I'm curious, one of the other coaches not on the field, but Courtney Morgan, guy I've heard a lot about, just got an extension. Do you have any sort of relation with him, and how does he kind of help you guys just being kind of a leader behind the scenes, stuff like that?
I mean, I eat lunch with him from time to time. Not every day, but from time to time when I sit him in the lunchroom, I catch him in there. We cracking jokes, and he just giving me little nuggets here and there about not only football but just life. So he's a cool dude.
He's from Pennsylvania, but how have you seen Rico Stack grow as a wide receiver in this room?
Rico has been able to adapt very well. I mean, when he came in, he already had talent because that's how he got here, but he's been able to adapt and make great strides. I mean, Rico caught like 2-3 touchdowns in the last scrimmage. Rico, he been going crazy. So
Back to the speed thing, Kendrick Law, Coach Spore said he said, I think it was like 23.5 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Is that true? And then, what do you think your teammate, what do you expect with him here?
yeah, that is true. Kendrick Law sliding, but I expect Kendrick Law to make a much more bigger impact than last year. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that he didn't, but he had a pretty good year last year. But with the road that he's taking on this year, I expect big things from Kendrick Law.
You think he needs to muscle up a little bit?
Law already big enough. He need to muscle down. But yeah.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Really good interviews. I mean, those guys do such a great job. It's good to see team leaders out there, again, courtesy of the University of Alabama. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. I really appreciate you guys being here and checking out these type of videos. We are getting closer and closer to the college football season. It's here. You can taste it. You can feel it. Florida State taking on Georgia Tech this Saturday. Do you think that Florida State will beat Georgia Tech by more than 11 points? Kind of think that Georgia Tech might cover in that one. That game is in Dublin, Ireland. We'll keep you posted on all the news happening on the Alabama Crimson Tide. I really appreciate you guys being here. Please support all the other great YouTube content creators out there that are covering the Alabama Crimson Tide. Your recruiting sites, those guys do such an amazing job. I really appreciate you guys for being here. Like, subscribe, hat from Chris Mobley. And we will catch you live in the morning time at 9 a.m. Central right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Can I get a Roll Tide? We'll see you next time, fam, right here on Bama Football on YouTube.